The most important thing under binomial is to know what we call factorial theorem. Those are the basic things, right? So I believe you know that the main idea behind binomial, we are trying to simplify. If at all I have got this x minus 1 to the power 2, I can expand this the normal way like we used to do in grade 10, x times x. But now what if this guy becomes big, the power becomes big, let's say it is 5, then I can go ahead and use Pascal's triangle. But at the same time, Pascal's triangle becomes so irrelevant in such cases where we have got to the power maybe 15. So it's going to be difficult. Then I use binomial theorem to distribute it. Binomial theorem, it is simple and straightforward. If at all I have been given x minus 1 raised to the power 15, and I have been asked to find the term involving x to the power 7, that's where the problem is now. I've been told to find the term involving x to the power 7. What happens? Under binomial theorem, we use what we call this formula. So a plus b raised to the power n, it is basically a, it is n choose r, a, n minus r, b minus r. If you know this, then you are home and dry. Okay? Now, one of the questions that came in one of exam like last year, the question was, find the term involving x to the power 6 in the expansion 2x to the power 3 plus 1 over x raised to the power 10. Now find the term involving x to the power 6 in this expansion. This question had 5 marks. Now, these are the questions that you need to know. Whether you like it or not, you are going to find it in your quiz, in your test, in your exam. Whether you like it or not. So, which term has got x to the power 6? So, how do we find the term? Term under binomial is given by r plus 1. Meaning that the only way I'm supposed to do here is just to find the value of r. Once I find the value of r, I come back here and find the answer. As simple as that. So now, using this formula, I'll say n is 10 in this case. R I don't know. A is 2x to the power 3. 2x to the power 3. Now in the brackets, n is 10 minus r I don't know. B is 1 over x in the brackets. R I don't know. My goal is to find r. Okay? Now that we are interested in r and we are interested in x, I'm not going to consider anything which doesn't have x. Like this 2, I'm not going to consider it. This one, I'm not going to consider it. But what I'm going to do is this. We are together. So what I'm going to do is this. I'll shift this to just come on top here. I'm interested in x. So I'm going to get x to the power 3. Now here outside there is 10 minus r. If I look at this guy, there is 1 over x. 1 over x, even if I've got a number here, let's say it was 2. Still it can't confuse me because 2 over x is basically the same as 2 times 1 over x. Okay? So 1 over x in simple terms is the same as x to the power negative 1. Now I'm trying to make the base to be the same. So this becomes x to the power negative 1. But because there is r outside, it's the same as negative r. Now I have to equate this equal to the x, the one I want to find, which is x to the power 6. Who is behind here before I continue? In simple terms, what we have is x to the power 3 10 minus r divided, what's happening now? Even me, I don't know. So I'm dividing this by x to the power r. So when you're dividing these indices and the bases are the same, we simply do minus. That's where this negative is coming from, in case you are confused. Now what happens is that if you are multiplying and the bases are the same, we add the powers, and that becomes x. So 3 times 10 is 30 minus 3r. Then again it will be plus negative r, which is just r, should be equal to x to the power 6. You are equating these things and the bases is the same. You cancel the bases and you equate the powers equal to each other. So you can ask, because I'm not able to see you, so it will be easy for you just to ask rather than raising your hand. How we are doing what?
How you like introduce the x in the calculation.
Which x are you talking about? Are you talking x to the power 6 or these x?
Yes, starting from here where there is 10, which is r, and then x, 2x to the power 3.
You have just joined now. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So let's find first this one. I'll bring another example. So we have 30. I'll shift 6 to the other side. Minus this is equal to 4r. That becomes 24 is equal to 4r. So I'll divide this by 4. I'll divide this by 4. These will cancel. Therefore r is equal to 6. Is r 6? Twenty-four divided by 4 is 26 time. Hello? You guys are just quiet. Okay. So then, if that's the case, r is 6. Now term is given by r plus 1. So r is 6 plus 1. So the term involving x to the power 6 is basically the seventh term. It is very important for us to understand the question. Now the question is saying, find the term involving x to the power 6. The question is not saying find the, unless they tell to say find the coefficient of the term involving x to the power 6. When they ask you to find the coefficient of the term involving x to the power 6, when you find the value of r, you come back here, plug in the value of r, and simplify your answer. When they ask you to find the coefficient of the term involving x to the power 6. But here the question is direct. Find the term involving x to the power 6. So there's no need of us finding the coefficient. Does that make sense? Yes. Now let us look at this. I'll go back to the quiz for 1100. I'll go back to the quiz for 1100. I remember someone sent me the same quiz, but I've forgotten where it is. There's a question we were supposed to answer, but I can't see. Okay. So the question was, this is what I wanted. The question was, find the coefficient, that was question 3, from the quiz you wrote. Find the coefficient. It's not the term. Find the coefficient of x to the power 4 in the expansion. Here is the expansion. X over 2 plus 1 over x raised to the power 8. Now the question continues to say, find the coefficient of x to the power 4. Find the coefficient of x to the power 4 in the expansion of this, leaving your answer in fraction. So the one who didn't understand the first question is good for you to understand this one. So the formula for binomial theorem, we said if we have got a plus b raised to the power n is n choose r, that's the formula, then a n minus r b time to the power r. That's the general formula you are supposed to know. So even here I'll use the same one. I'll say n choose r, a n minus r b raised to the power r. But what is n? N is 8. What is r? I don't know. What is a? A is x over 2. N is 8 minus r. B is 1 over x raised to the power r. If there was a negative here, I would have included negative here. But there's no negative. It is positive. The first thing is to find the value of r. Now, initially, here we are supposed to be done. We are supposed to simplify there. We find the answer. But now the question is, we don't have r. So we don't have r, we need first to find r. Then we come back and replace r in this formula. Then we simplify our answer. As simple as that. This question had how many marks? They didn't indicate 5 marks. These are 3 marks. Now, let's find r. How are we going to find r? We are interested in only what? X for now, for us to find r. So it is x raised to the power 8 minus r. I've gotten this and that. Forget about 2 which is on the denominator because we're not interested in that. We're interested in x. This x is on the denominator. As long as x is appearing on the denominator, for me to remove it on the denominator, I'm going to introduce negative. So that is basically x times negative 1, but there is r again here. This should be equal to, I want to find the coefficient of x to the power 4. So I'll equate x to the power 4. This becomes, if the bases are the same and you are multiplying, you are adding. So that becomes 8 x 8 to the power, or x to the power 8 minus r, then again plus negative r, which is just basically minus r, is equal to x to the power 4. So then that becomes x to the power 8 minus 2r is equal to x to the power 4. If the bases are the same, you are equating, then you cancel them, you equate the powers equal to each other. 8 minus 2r is equal to 4. Our goal is to find the value of r. Shift 2r to the other side, 4 to the other side. 8 minus 4 is equal to 2r. So this becomes 4. 2r divided by 2 divided by 2, r is equal to 2. The one who was asking that you didn't understand where r came from, are you now okay? Or where x came from? Hello? Guys. So this is the question that you were failing to answer. When you find the value of r, you come back here and plug in the r. That's all. So it is 8, r is 2, x over 2, 8 minus r, r is 2, so 8 minus r, which is going to give us what? 6. It's going to give me 6, 1 over x, r is 2. Then I simplify from here. What happens? So what we have here initially, it is 8, choose 2. I want first to simplify this, then I'll come back to this. You can just ask rather than you raising your hand, because I'll not be able to see your hand.
We found as our food. We don't need to add one when we're finding the term.
Yes, so when you're finding the term, in that case, if the question was find the term involving x to the power 4, would have said it is what? It is the third term, because would have said r plus 1. But because the question is not asking us to find the term, but the question is asking us to find the coefficient of the term involving x to the power 4. That's why we are not interested in finding the term. Is that okay? So then, 8 choose r. This guy is the same as x to the power 6 divided by 2 to the power 6 is 64 times 1 to the power 2 is just 1, x to the power 2 is x to the power 2. And this is going to give you exactly x to the power 4. So now we are going to see that this x to the power 2 will go here. If I cancel x to the power 2, I will remain with x to the power 4. Now this is what I want. 8 choose 2, then I've got x to the power 4, which is true. I want x to the power 4. This. Now it's the matter of me simplifying this. As simple as that. So 8 choose 2, it is 8 factorial divided by 8 minus 2 factorial times 2 factorial. But don't forget times x to the power 4 divided by 64. 8 factorial divided by this becomes 6 factorial and 2 factorial. Don't forget x to the power 4 divided by 64. Now, in most cases, I don't want you to be confused with these times. That's why I'll just put this dot as times. Because I don't have time, I'll remove this part so that I use it. So 8 factorial is 8 times 7 times 6. Now that I have got 6 factorial, the moment I reach on 6 factorial, I'll end there and put a factorial. Divide it by 6 factorial. Then times 2 factorial is just 2. Times 1 over 60, x to the power 4 over 64. So 6 factorial and 6 factorial will go. 2 there. 2 into 8, 4. 4 times 27. Come on, 28, right? 28 times x to the power 4 divided by 64. That becomes 28 x to the power 4 divided by 64. There's a number which goes into 28 and 64. That's why the question was, leave your answer in fraction. 4 here, 7. 4 into 64, 69. And that becomes my final answer. So this is the answer you are supposed to find. Hello? The same concept, we can use it to find the term independent of x. So these are the questions we're supposed to know under binomial theorem. Find the term independent of x. Find the term independent of x. Last year, this question came for finding the term independent of x. How many are we now? We are 30. Better. When we have got a term independent of x, meaning x is raised to the power what? So this question came last year in one of the exams. Guys, if I have got x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus maybe 1 over x squared, like this. Now if they ask me to find the term independent of x, I know that this is the first term, the second term, the third term. So this is the guy which doesn't have x, but initially it is 4x to the power 0, because any number to the power 0 is 1. That's why it is a term independent of x. Does that make sense? So we are looking for a term which has got x to the power 0. So there is no difference between finding the term independent of x and the one we are solving. So when they ask you the term independent of 0 or independent of x is the same as the term that involves x to the power 0. Okay, so you use the same formula. N choose r, nothing is going to change. N choose r, a n minus r, b to the power r. N is 8. The question is find the term. So they'll ask you two questions: find the term or find the coefficient of the term independent of x. So in this case, we are going to find both. But the question was find the term independent of x. So r I don't know. A is x to the power 3. Everything raised to the power n is 8 minus r I don't know. B is 2 over x raised to the power r. Remember, we are interested in r. Sorry, we're interested in x because we want to find the value of r. So then this becomes x to the power 3, 8 minus r. This is what I was telling you to say. If you have got 2 over x, it's basically the same as 2 times 1 over x. That becomes 2 times x to the power negative 1. So basically this is the same as I have this now raised to the power r. But we are not interested in 2, we are only interested in x. So now here I'll say times x to the power negative 1 times r outside, which becomes negative r. I'll equate this equal to the term that we want to find is x to the power 0, because a term independent of x has got x to the power 0. Who is behind here? Who?
So I'm behind. When 2 over x, you don't like the x doesn't have 2, like you make it negative 2.
Ask again. Your question, your question is not straight. So ask again.
2 over x
Mm-hmm.
r.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get r x to be equal to negative 1 instead of negative 2?
2 and x, they are not together. 2 is on numerator, x is on denominator. So I was giving you here to say 2 over x is the same as 2 times 1 over x. What's the difference here? There's no difference, because 1 times 2 is 2 over x as well. So when there is 1 on top over x, it's the same as x to the power negative 1. So 2 is not part of x. 2 is on top, x is down. Is that okay?
Yes.
Thank you. So that's why now we have forgotten about 2, but we have come back here and look at just x to the power negative 1. But negative 1 times this r, that becomes negative r. So the bases are the same. It will be the same thing I was doing. That becomes 3 times 8 is 24 minus 3r. But again, if I do plus, I'm adding. Plus negative r still becomes negative r is equal to x to the power 0. So when I have this, guys, I definitely know that the bases are going to cancel out. I will equate the powers equal to each other. 24 minus negative 3 minus r is 4r is equal to 0. So shift 4 to the other side, you have 24 is equal to 4r divided by 4 divided by 4. These will cancel. R is equal to 6. Now if r is 6, who was asking about the 2 and x? What's your name, madam?
Sharon.
Sharon. So Madam Sharon, tell me the term independent of x after finding r to be 6. Madam Sharon? Okay, so what would be the term independent of x? To be seventh term. So the term is given by r plus 1. So 6 plus 1 is the seventh term. So the question was find the term independent of x. This question had about 3 marks. So find the term independent of x in this expansion. So the answer is seventh term. That was the answer. We are done. We end there. But if the question continues to say find the coefficient of the term independent of x, after finding the value of r, I need to come back here and simplify the way we were simplifying that other one. I need to plug in the value of r. So it will be 8, 6, then x to the power 3. Then I'll say 8 minus 2 or minus 6, that becomes 2. Then again 2 over x raised to the power 6. And for sure you are going to see that this is indeed the term independent of x, because x to the power 3 times 2 is x to the power 6 times 2 to the power 6 is 64 divided by x to the power 6. So x to the power 6 and x to the power 6 will cancel. And that's where now we're going to find the term independent of x. So you use 8 factorial here over 8 minus 6 factorial times 6 factorial. When you simplify that times 64, that is the coefficient of the term independent of x. Can we fail to answer such questions? Hmm? Can we fail to answer such questions? Madam. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why 9, madam? 3 times 3? Which 3, madam? We're talking about 8 minus 6, which is 2. Mm-hmm. X to the power 3. So listen, madam. This power, we multiply the power by the power. So it is 2 times 3, which is 6. No, it doesn't work out like that, madam. Yes. Are we all good to go? Mm. Okay. So using binomial theorem, I think that's the basic idea behind it. Now we can look at the last part, that is binomial series. That's where you're having challenges. With that question, they bombard you. Yes. Yes, please. Mhm. Yes. So we are interested in x, sir. So here we are dealing with x. We were dealing with x. That's why we had x to the power. If you can remember very well, we had x to the power 24 minus 3r minus r being equal to, now, to what term independent of x? Like what power of x are we going to have when the term doesn't have x? It is basically x to the power 0. So because we are comparing with x, that's the reason why we are equating it equal to x to the power 0. Does that make sense, sir? Yes, it is 1. So we don't want, if I put 1 now, if I put 1, how am I going to cancel this x this side? It's not going to be cancelled out. And in that case, I can't find the value of r. So the idea is, yes, the idea is to cancel out this x so that I equate this with equal to what I have there as the power, because the bases are the same. Cheers. Now let us look at what we call binomial series. But under binomial series, okay, before we do that, I want us to understand one thing, that what we call factorial theorem. So what is basically factorial theorem? This one can help you to actually prove identities, but we're not going to waste time to look at identities because it will take almost like 30 minutes for us just to prove one identity. But so guys, if I give you 7 factorial, you know that is 7 times 6 times 4 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Do you know that if I can write this as 7 open bracket 7 minus 1, then 7 minus 2, then as long as I decide to end there, I put factorial. There is no difference because 7 minus 1 is 6, 7 minus 2 is 5. As long as I decide to end there, I put factorial. Are we in support with that? 7 7 minus 1, as long as I decide to end here, I put factorial. So that's basically factorial theorem. But what if I've got n factorial? N factorial, I write n open brackets n minus 1. If I decide to end here, I put factorial. There's no difference. I can keep on going n minus 1 as long as I'll n minus 2. If I want to end here, I just put a factorial. That's basically factorial theorem. That's basically factorial theorem. Nothing complicated, right? Mm-hmm.
How about that one that starts with the positives and then you have to, maybe it's plus, but then you have to end up with n minus.
Yes, it's the same thing, my friend. So you have got n plus 1 factorial. Now you are reducing. The first thing you write the same thing. Then you keep on now doing minus 1. So it is n plus 1 minus 1. What are you going to have? N. So I'll have n. If I decide to end on n, I'll put factorial. But if I want to keep on going, it will be n plus 1. Then n again. If I want to keep on going, it will be now n minus 1. As long as I decide to end there, I put factorial. Interesting, right? Hello, interesting. Okay, let us look at a certain question that is in one of your tutorial sheet. That is question 2. That is saying n, show that n choose 2 is basically equal to, we are just showing that n is equal to this divided by 2. We are just showing that. Okay, so n is, it will be n factorial divided by what? Divided by n minus 2 factorial times 2 factorial. Simple as that. It starts like that. Now you need to look at the bottom part. The bottom part, I only have 2. I need to find a way on how I'm going to manipulate the numerator so that I come up with n minus 2 factorial, so that n minus 2 factorial should cancel out. As simple as that. This is basically the same as what I was giving you here. So where am I going to end? I'll end here. I'll replace this with that. I'll end there and put factorial. Because n factorial is basically the same as n. I'll start with n, like we said, n, then n minus 1. But because I want n minus 2 to appear, I'll end there. and put a factorial. Then replace. N factorial will be replaced by n minus 1, n minus 2. As long as I decide to end there, put factorial. Then n minus 2, I put factorial. Then 2. 2 factorial is 2. Guys, these things are simple. Confidence. N minus 2 factorial goes. I have got n. So now n times n is n squared. N times negative 1 is n divided by 2. This is the same as that. What's difficult here? Come on, guys. What's difficult here? That's basically factorial theorem. Nothing complicated. Show that n over 3 is equal to n, open brackets, n minus 1. Oh, these are basics. Divided by 6. We are still going to talk about the n, choose 3. So that becomes n factorial divided by n minus 3 factorial times 3 factorial. But now I don't want n minus 3 factorial to appear on the denominator. If that's the case, then I'll start now manipulating n factorial. N factorial is n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3. Because I want to end there, I want to go and cancel n minus 3, I'll end there and put factorial. So that becomes, where there is n factorial, you replace with n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3 factorial divided by n minus 3 factorial times 3 factorial is 3 times 2, which is 6. Then you go there and cancel this. n minus 1, n minus 2 divided by 6. Hence shown, left hand side is equal to the right hand side. Hence proved. Hello, what's difficult here? Nothing, my friends, nothing. After knowing that, you should be able to know what we call, so this is where now we leave a lot of people, so I don't think I'm going to leave you today. Binomial series. The beauty part about binomial series is you should just be able to know that you should always have a binomial in a form of 1. It should always start with 1 plus something raised to the power n. That becomes the formula that we use, as long as in the first there is supposed to be 1. They are going to ask you a question at expand in ascending order up to including the term x to the power 3. As long as you read that question, just know that that is binomial series. That's why you are going to be using this formula. So the formula goes like this. Just to write the formula 1 plus nx plus n, open brackets, n minus 1 times x to the power 2 divided by 2 factorial plus n minus 1, n minus 2, x to the power 3. Just to write this formula is 1 mark. Just to write the formula. Even if you don't know what you are doing, you have forgotten everything, remember the formula and go and get 1 mark. You understand? Are we together? The document that I sent in the group for binomial, there is a question that is saying expand. The question is this. I'll put it in the next page. Why should I put in the next page? Expand 1 plus. So before you continue, I want you guys to know that our classes, these classes are going to take for about 1 week, where we just want to build confidence of the student. We want to at least help them on how they can clear the remaining assessments which are coming. So now the issue is if you're not part of Transcended Institute, this is the best time for you to register with Transcended Institute. and be able to get the discount that we have on site, and then yeah, and able to access all the content that we have. So remember, we have got the full topic videos, we have got the tutorial sheet solutions, we have got also the past papers. So if you come here, you'll be able to see this. If you go into tutorial sheet, you'll be able to see the tutorial sheet for 2025, that is for both 1120 and 1100. When you click there, you find all of them, and as well as in tutorial sheet 7, which it is also available. So if you go to past papers, you'll be able to find the past papers as well. So this is going to help you to prepare for exam. So register with us. This is the only best time you can start learn at your own convenient time. Okay, back to the class. X over 2 raised to the power -1 in ascending powers of x up to and including the term x to the power, including the term x to the power 3. So this is they'll always tell you to say including x to the power 3. So they want you to find the first term, second, third. So this is the first term, second, third, fourth. That's why here r is 0, here r is 1, here r is 2, here r is 3. Have you seen, right? So when r is 3, we are looking at the fourth term. R is 2 is the third term. R is 1, second term. R is what? R is 0, the first term. So I hope you are able to relate with what we are doing that side, eh? Arrow. Hmm?
Yes, sir. So can you ask if you can use them the document for the binomial?
Should I descend now? I descend now?
After the class.
Okay, no problem. I'll do that. So the question is this. We want to find, the question is expand this. They are saying expand 1 plus 1 over 2 in ascending powers of x up to including the term x to the power 2, x to the power 3, sorry. So you use the same formula. You have to use the same. So it's 1 plus nx plus n minus 1 x squared divided by 2 factorial plus n. Just writing this name is that they give a mark, divided by 3 factorial. So n is -1, x is x over 2. Who is behind on how to find n and x? So we are following this format, x plus 1. So whatever is going to be here, that represent x in the formula. It's making sense, eh? Let's do fast. So we are okay now. We can plug in the values. 1 plus, what is n? N is -1. What is x? X is x over 2 plus n is -1, then -1 minus 1, x is x over 2 but squared, divided by 2 factorial is just 2. 2 times 1 is 2, plus n is -1, then -1 minus 1, -1 minus 2, then I have got x over 2 now to the power 3. Divide this. 3 factorial is 3 times 2, which is 6. 1 plus, so now here it will be negative because -1 times this positive, it becomes negative. So negative x over 2. Now here, so here you have to be very much careful. Here is going to give me -2. This gives me -1. So negative times negative becomes positive. So here it will be positive. So now I have got 2. Now what I have is 2. Then here it is x squared and 2 squared. So x squared is just x squared divided by 2 squared is 4. Now divide it by 2 plus. I don't know if it's going to be plus, but don't put plus first. First manipulate this part. So this becomes -1, this becomes -2, this becomes -3. So this becomes -1 times -2, that is +2. +2 times -3, -6. So this becomes negative. So I'll put 6 here. Then x to the power 3 becomes x to the power 3. 2 to the power 3 is 8. Now divide it by 3. One thing you should be able to appreciate here is this 2 and that 2 will cancel. 6 and 6 will go. So therefore the answer is 1 minus x over 2, okay, plus x squared over 4 minus x to the power 3 over 8. This is the answer. This question had 5 marks. This question had 5 marks. Now, in ascending powers, as you can see, the powers are increasing. If they ask you in descending, you write in the opposite. You start from here going this side. But they're not going to ask you that. They'll ask you to find in ascending. There is no exam, there is no quiz, there is no test without this question. Whether you like it or not, you find it. Now, the question here comes here. What if they complicate things and they give you this? The same question, they just put 1 on top, then they give you this. Do you guys know that this question is as exactly as the question we are from solving? No, if you don't know, just be honest. Don't even be shy. So how many know that this is basically the same as 1 plus x over 2 raised to the power negative 1? Do we have anyone who know that these things are the same?
I know, sir.
Okay. So anything, as long as you are trying to remove the 1 on top, the power that you have here becomes negative. So since the power is 1 here, just becomes negative 1. Then 1 on top has gone. This becomes the same thing if you have got, maybe if I had this, raised to the power, let's say 3. Now, because I want to remove 1 on top, that becomes 1 plus x over 2 raised to the power negative 3. Then use the formula and plug in the values. Other people will go further and confuse you. They give you 1 over the square root of 1 plus x over 2, like this. You know that this is basically the same as, if something is in the square root, it's the same as to the power half. So that becomes x over 2 to the power half. But I want to remove 1 on top, the Schma fraction, and that becomes 1 plus x over 2 raised to the power negative half. Who is behind here? These are the basic things you're supposed to know. At your own free time, I want you guys to solve this and send me the answer before 8 hours.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
How did the 4 then x over 2 come? Like, where did it come from?
X to the power what?
X to the x over 2.
Is how did x over 2 is, I've just given you here 1 plus x over 2. It's a question. Are you talking about
On the next answer, you said that it's the same. No, the second one. Yes, the same one.
how did this x over 2 come about?
The 4.
Which 4? There is no 4. This is 1 plus.
It looks like a 4.
No, my handwriting is just good. No one has got a question here, right? Arrow, guys. Now we are not done with this question. Now the question that they're going to ask you, another one, whether you like it or not, under binomial series, is they'll find you to say they'll ask you to say state the interval of values of x in which the binomial is valid. When such question comes, and it's going to come always, you do this. Get what is in the brackets only, the original one in the brackets. 1 plus x over 2 equal to 0. Solve for x. How do we solve for x? Shift 1 to go to the other side. X over 2 is equal to -1. If I cross multiply, x being equal to -2. So we use this. Less than x, less than. So whether this number is positive or negative, you have to put the negative here and the positive here. So this is the range of values in which it's going to be valid. Confused, right? These are basics. Get what is in the brackets equal to 0. Solve for x. Then put less than x, less than, just like that. The answer you're going to find, the negative starts, the positive party go to the last part. Simple. That's how we find. Forget about that method you know about putting it in modulus. Well, you're wasting your time. Madam. No, even if you don't divide. But now I divided by 1 for the sake of, for those who doesn't understand when we say cross multiply. You know what it means, cross multiply. Here is same as there's 1. So x times 1 is x. But even if you don't want to put 1, it's fine. Okay. So I'm going to give you this question. It came in one of last year, actually, not in one. Last year, this is the question which came, and the question was like this: expand 1 plus 3x raised to the power -2 in ascending powers of x, including x to the power 3. Hence, find the range of values in which this is going to be valid. So I'll need the answer for this question before 8 hours. Okay, cool. Another question that they asked was from the same one. It was okay, I'm going to send this question in the group, or maybe I show you, then you take a screenshot. Okay, but I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm going to show you. Then now another interesting question which I want you to know before we go to the last part is 1 plus bx. It also came last year test and exam. 1 bx raised to the power n. So they're saying when 1 plus bx raised to the power n is expanded in ascending powers of x, the coefficient of x is equal to -3/2, and the coefficient of x to the power 2 is equal to -3/2. Now the question is, find the values of the real number b and n. You can mute your mic, Madam Charity. Thank you. So the question is, let me show you the question. But I think if you have got the document that I sent in the group, you are able to see the question, right? So the question is, when 1 plus bx, everything to the power n, that question I've given you, is expanded in ascending powers of x. So if they expand this in ascending powers of x using this formula, that's what they mean. Using this formula, divided by 2 factorial plus n minus 1, n minus 2, x to the power 3 divided by 3 factorial. So they are saying when they expand using this formula, it was discovered that the coefficient of x is -3/2, and the coefficient of x to the power 2 is is 3/2. Then find the values of b and n. This was one of the simplest questions on earth. So in the formula, which guy contains x from our formula here? Which guy contains x? The second one, which is nx. So they are saying this nx is basically equal to this, but we are dealing with the coefficient. Okay, so now what is x in this case? X is bx, so it is n times bx is equal to negative 3 over 2. Who is behind on how I've just plugged in the values there? Nothing complicated. Who is behind?
It's me. I'm behind.
Why are you behind? Explain in one paragraph.
Huh?
Explain in one paragraph, why are you behind?
I think my brain has a problem.
Oh,
Yes.
your brain also. Okay, so the question, but now we understand question.
Yes.
So now the coefficient of x from the formula, which guy has got x only, not at x squared, the x to the power 3, no, but x just. I'm asking you, madam.
So what's the question?
Oh, wait. The question is from the formula that we have, which guy has x only?
It's B.
Imwe, mami. From this formula, there's no b.
It's isn't it NX?
nx. So nx, now we have been told that the coefficient of that nx is what? Negative 3 over 2. So that's why we have equated this to negative 3 over 2. But we know that x should be replaced by the x from the question. So x is representing bx. So we have replaced x with bx. That's all. Whenever we're talking about coefficient, when you reach at this point, ignore x. Leave x alone. X is innocent. Leave it. So now we have this. Now this is equation 1. I have got two unknown variables. I can't solve direct. I need another equation. That's why I've been given two things. Another question continues to say the coefficient of the guy having x to the power 2 is 3 over 2. Which one is that? Which is having x to the power 2? Uh-huh. Yes. So where there is b, we are going to replace what? We are going to replace b x everything raised to the power 2. Divide it by 2 factorial is 2. Now you equate this equal to 3 over 2. Now you expand. That becomes n minus 1. So now b, this becomes b squared and x squared. But we are not interested in x. That's what you need to know. Is equal to 3 over 2. So we are not interested in x. Ignore x. So you have got n minus 1 b squared divided by 2 is equal to 3 over 2. When you reach at this point, if you want, you can now cross multiply and make a one equation. So if I cross multiply here, what happens? We're going to end up having 2n open brackets n minus 1, then I've got b squared is equal to 2 times 3 6. Again at this point I can again divide both sides by 2. Even I don't want to confuse you. In short, in math, as long as this is on the denominator, again 2 is on the denominator, I can cancel them. But sometimes people tend to be confused. This can be cancelled. Same as here, I will divide it by 2. Then I'll have this is equal to 3. So my equation 2 becomes n minus 1, then b squared is equal to 3. Who is confused? That becomes my equation 2. Hmm? It's fine. Okay. You don't understand where the 6 is coming from. We have multiplied 2 and 3, 6. Then 2 times this is this part. Divide it by 2 everywhere, 2 everywhere. That's where 3 has come from now. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. When you reach at that point, the goal is to find the value of x, the value of n and b. So you choose which one to make the subject of the formula. So the best way is you can make n as a subject of the formula in the first part. What does that mean? If I cross multiply here, I have got n b is equal to negative 3 over 2. So here there is 1. So if I cross multiply, that becomes 2nb is equal to negative 3. So our goal is to make n as a subject of the formula. Okay? So I will divide both sides by 2b, here 2b. So n is equal to negative 3 over 2b. In the second equation, where there is n, let's replace negative 3 over 2b. Does that make sense? Yes, it does to me. So now, where there is n, I'll put negative 3 over 2b, open brackets. Again, where there is n, put negative 3 over 2b minus 1, then divide it by b squared is equal to 3. Now you can expand this. In simple terms, to make things simple for you and me, multiply everything. Here I've got b. Now I'm going to be expanding b. So what happens? So I'll say b squared times this negative 1. That becomes what? Hello. Okay, let's do this. Negative 3 times negative 3, that becomes 9. Then 2b times 2b, that becomes 2 or 4b squared minus negative 3, that one becomes 3 over 2b. Then outside I also have b squared is equal to 3. Who is behind on how I've expanded this one? I've just multiplied this with everything in the brackets. You have seen it, huh? Or plus. Yes, you are right. Thank you. We are good to go. Now, if I multiply b with what I have here, this becomes b and b squared will cancel, and that becomes 9 over 4 plus. Here, 1b will go and I'll have 1b remaining. So it will be 3b over 2 is equal to 3. No, there's nothing like to repeat, madam. What we are doing here, we are just expanding. We are just multiplying b squared with everything inside the brackets. So where are you behind? Mm. I had what? Yes, 9 over 4 b squared. So I'm multiplying by with b. That becomes 9b squared divided by 4b squared. So b squared and b squared has gone. So what I have now is I can now find the common denominator, which we know is 4. So 4 here I'm finding the common denominator. 4 into 4 is 1. 1 times 9, 9. Plus 2 there, 2. 2 times that one, 6b is equal to 3. I can cross multiply. That becomes 9 plus 6b is equal to 12. What happens? I have got 6b is equal to 12. 9 goes to the other side, minus 9. So 6b is equal to 12 minus this becomes 3. Divided by 6, divided by 6. Therefore, b is equal to 1 over 2. Now that b is 1 over 2, you come back here where you had to make n as a subject of the formula and plug in b to find the value of n. So n is equal to negative 3 over 2. B is 1 over 2. So half times 2 is 1. Therefore n is negative 3. What we have done here, I want you guys from 1120 to go ahead and answer the question from your tutorial sheet. That should be question, what question is that? Go ahead and answer question 13. This is the same principle. And this question came last year in test, and again it came in exam. What time did you start? It's supposed to be 1 hour only.
That was somewhere 6:30 so.
Are you sure, sir? We started at 6:30 or we started at 6:20?
It was 6:20 something.
So we can end there. Okay.
Sir,
Mm.
I was asking, so
Mm.
you're saying that we should end here, so you can give us another question like on the same concept as the example from solving.
Yes, it's the one I'm talking about. I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm going to send in the group.
Oh, alright.
Yes. So
So what about that question that came in the quiz?
that was a very simple question. Which one between the two?
That one, 4 plus 2x for binomial expansion.
So that question,
Binomial
that question was one. Now, if I ask you, was this question under binomial series Z, or if I ask you?
Yes, the same one, sir.
Okay. So here, remember, under binomial series, you should always have 1 to start. 1 plus something. It can be anything. But now there x has to exist, but it can be anything. Now here, the concept was very simple. Using the same formula, 1 plus nx plus, are you guys still here?
Yes.
So n minus 1, then x squared divided by 2 factorial plus n minus 1, n minus 2, x squared divided by 3 factorial. So we want 1 to exist. You always factor out. As long as you have got a number which is not 1 in first, you have to factor it out so that we should have 1. So it will be 4 open brackets 1 plus, if I factor out here where I'm dividing just, so 4 divided by that becomes x over 2. Now everything has to be raised to the power half, because this half, the power half, includes everything in the brackets. Now I'm going to open the big brackets, and that becomes 4 raised to the power half, open brackets 1 plus x over 2 raised to the power half. Who is behind up to this point? We are good to go? We are good to go. No one is behind. Are you sure? Okay. So 4 to the power half is the same as the square root of 4. If you don't know, any number to the power half is the square root. Square root of 4 is 2. So what you are actually trying to simplify is this. Using this formula, what you are going to do, just ask. Like I said, if you have got a question, you can just ask, because I'll not be able to see if at all you are raising your hand. Okay, you are quiet, meaning you don't have a question. So what you have here, what is in the brackets, you are using this formula. When you find that answer, you come back and multiply it by 2, everything. What I mean is this. You have 2 open brackets 1 plus nx plus n minus 1 x squared divided by 2 factorial plus n minus 1 n minus 2 x to the power 3 divided by 3 factorial. So what you are doing is you are now using this concept. You are just plugging in the values. When you find the answer, like the answers we are finding, then each one of those guys you are going to do times 2. That is the answer. 2 1 n is half, x is x over 2, then plus again n is half minus 1, then x is x over 2 divided by 2. 2 factorial is 2, plus again here 1 over 2, again 1 over 2 minus 1, 1 over 2 minus 2, then that becomes x to the power divided by 2. Now everything raised to the power 3 divided by 6. Now don't forget to put a bracket that side. So these 2 keep on coming. That becomes 1. 1 times x is x. 2 times 2 down there on the denominator becomes 4 plus. So anyway, I don't know if it's going to be plus. Let me not rush here. So in the brackets, I've got half minus 1. Half minus 1, in a case here it's supposed to be squared, right? Half minus 1, in a case 1 minus half is half. Half minus 1 is negative half. Negative half times, come on guys, negative half times half, so it's negative 1 over 4. Now this guy here which you have, it is going to be x squared divided by 4. So it's like you have got negative half times x squared over 4. That becomes minus x squared divided by 16. Now you have got again divided by these 2 here. So here is the matter of simplifying. There's nothing complicated. Plus. Now here, yes, yes. Have you just joined? Wait, have you just joined now? Because if you're asking, if you're asking me this side, I have moved from this side coming here. Again, I've moved from here all the way to this part. So meaning that you have not followed anything. Hmm? Because I asked, who is behind you? Guys were just quiet. What's your question now? So you are not here. I think you have. Have you not just joined now? Madam. So binomial series, it will always start with 1. That's general formula. Like we said. It will always start with 1 plus something. It can be x, but it can be anything there. But as long as x exists. Now in that case we have got 4 plus 2x. So we want to factor out 4 so that we have 1. That's why we have said 4 open brackets. We will remain with 1 plus 4 divided by 2x. It becomes x over 2. then everything raised to the power half. So now this half symbolizes this part and also 4. So that's why we said 4 to the power half, then 1 plus x over 2 raised to the power half. Any number to the power half is the same as the square root, so that becomes 2. The square root of 4 is 2. So now we are expanding this. It's fine. So this one becomes now, remember we have already found this times this. We have already found that it's negative 1 over 4. Then now 1 over 2 minus 3, if you don't know, that is negative 3 over 2. Again, we are multiplying it by x to the power 3. It is x to the power 3 divided by 2 to the power 3 is 8. So that becomes 8. 2 times 4 is 8 down there. But negative and negative will cancel, that's why it's positive. So this becomes negative 3, sorry, 3x to the power 3 divided by 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 8 is 64. So we have 64. Then you are dividing it by again 6. So we are done. Now you are finding the answer here. So what you are actually doing is you are just simplifying this, but this is basically the same as if I multiply 2 times 1, it is 2. 2 times x over 4, it is what? It is x over 2. This 2 and that 2 can cancel out. So I will remain with minus x squared divided by 16 plus 2 and 6. 2 into 6 is 3. So that becomes 3x to the power 3 divided by 68. Guys, what is 8 times 8? The one we had, was it 68 or 64? Supposed to be 64, eh? 64. Now here I also have this 3 down here. Now here you are trying to simplify now. So your answer was supposed to be 2 plus x over 2 minus x squared divided by 16 plus this 3. You know, math is so nice such that here I will just say this 3 and that 3 goes, and I will remain with x to the power 3 divided by 64. So this was the answer. If you don't understand what I've done here, you can go ahead and simplify yourself. What 3x squared divided by 64 then divided by again 3, what it means? It means 3x to the power 3 divided by 64 times 1 over 3. 3 and 3 will cancel. That's why I may have just done direct. And that becomes x to the power 3 times that. That's the end of binomial. Only one part is remaining where you have been given maybe like a single number and then you are trying to. From what we have done, if I give you questions, can you answer?
Sir,
Yes.
yes, yes. Then what about since in the question they told us that we should state the range.
Oh, the range. Okay.
Yes.
So the range of values. I think I explained about the range of values. What are we going to do? You get the original one, not the one you manipulated. You get this 4 plus 2x is equal to 0. So for x, 2x is equal to negative 4 divided by 2, x is equal to negative 2. Put this, start with the negative number, put the positive. That's the answer. Is that okay?
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
on your final answer where there is x cubed over 64, aren't you supposed to divide 2 over 64 since the 3 and 3 cancelled? And then there's that 2 that was on the other side of the brackets.
We did already because there was 6 down there, so we said 2 into 6, it was 3. That's where 3, that one 3 came from.
Alright.
Yes. No wound, right? So guys, try to solve different questions under binomial. If at all you are still having today, go and approach different questions under binomial, send them in the group. If you are still having some challenges, we discuss. Let's forget about binomial. No binomial. Let's forget. Tomorrow we come to do another topic. These classes are going to help you, and these classes are going only to take for 1 week, just to build your confidence. Only 1 week. Today is Friday. Next week Friday we are done. Okay, so we are doing it in the morning such that I don't want you to be like you are squeezed with a lot of things, then we start doing classes in the evening. No, so these classes will start from 6 hours, 7:30. If at all we start at 6, like today we started at 6:30, 7:30 we are done. Does that make sense? So we are meeting tomorrow same time. Tomorrow you're having a quiz, right? Even if you're having a quiz, you are not writing a quiz in the morning. What time are you writing the quiz? 9 9 to 11. So tomorrow, okay, it's both 1100 and 1120, or it's just 1120? Oh, 1010 and it's what? Okay, so we'll still have the class anyway. We'll still have a class tomorrow morning, 6 hours to 7 hours. Done. So tomorrow we are doing trig. Yes.